Does the half halt feel like a memo that every other rider in the world got and you missed? If so, today is the episode for you. I want to chat about what the half halt is, what it isn't, and how to know if it worked. And I suppose, importantly as well, what to do if it hasn't, okay? So what I want you to do today is take this little bit of theory, put it with a little bit of practice later, and let's start improving the half halts for you in your riding. Okay, let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Lorna Leeson. I'm an equestrian trainer and coach, and I work with riders from all over the world who quite often are feeling like their training and their horse's training is going a wee bit backwards. I help them to turn that feeling around, start seeing results, and especially if they're working alone without a regular trainer or coach. Okay, so let's dive in. Now, what is the half halt? The half halt, I know it sounds so complicated, and I sometimes think there are certain things that people make sound complicated on purpose. So let's not do that today, hey? Let's just really simplify this. The half halt is simply a little moment where you and your horse get to rebalance. It's a very small rebalance, which is why you may need quite a few half halts in succession to make a big difference, okay? But basically it's a simple moment and a small moment where you kind of invite your horse to just, stall the ball a second, maybe shift weight a little bit, okay? So redistributing weight, and in doing so, improve the balance and the connection and the communication between the two of you. It is not slowing down, it's not pulling, it's not just the reins, okay? It is this moment where you and your horse come together, and then through that you actually are able to move on more literally together through it, okay? So why do so many people struggle with it? I think it's sometimes to do with maybe a misunderstanding. I think sometimes, again, it's overly complicated and it's made seem like something that's like really like high level. You can make it that if you want, but you can also start with it being really simple that you and your horse can understand together. And then over time, you can refine it, just like all things. You're not going to start off with it being like the most amazing thing you've ever done in your life. It's not going to start that way. Nothing ever starts that way. It's going to start being really basic and really simple. And then over time, you refine and you refine and you refine it. I think when you couple that with the fact that understanding from a logical or a theoretic point of view that it's not just hauling on the reins, okay? It's not just being handy. That is really, really important as well. I also think that sometimes riders can think that because the half halt has been talked up so much, and I'm not saying the half halt's not important, it's really important, okay? But because so much emphasis is put on it, they kind of expect these magical, transformational results. That's just not going to happen. Again, it's very small movement. It's a very small moment. It's usually quite a small result, but the result can compound. Okay, so keep that in mind, especially if you're trying to get results the first time out with your half halt. Now, I think what's first of all important to understand here is that the half halt is really a holistic group of aids working together. It's not like inside leg or outside leg, okay? It's like your aids coming together and working together in order to achieve something. Now, there can be a sequence to it, to how those aids are being used, okay? I think that it will a lot of the time depend on you and your horse, but I also think that the hands are last, okay? Whatever way the sequence works, hands come last. And this is where people get things wrong. They just dive in there with their hands. They're like, let me just pull those reins and I'll make a plan. No, you have to just hold yourself back. You have to rein it in, literally, and just say, no, hold on there now, hold on. let me rather really connect with my seat. Let me use my leg to keep the energy going forward, and then I will gather that energy with my hand. Okay? So can you see how now when you approach it this way, it's again all those aids working together almost simultaneously. Okay? Like okay? Quick. But because they're working together almost simultaneously, you are then producing something that you can hold in your hand. You're not grabbing something that's not there in your hand. You have to first produce it through your other aids. You have to ask for it to be there, and then you simply gather it. You connect it together using your hand. Your hand is not out there like grabbing it all back into you. That's the kind of the simplest way I can explain this to you. It's not like a handbrake. This is not like an emergency stop, eh? The half halt is subtle, like subtle. It's like the difference, it's a touch. It's like a zut, okay? And then when it's ridden properly, and again, you may need to have a couple of them in succession to make it work, okay? But when it does that, then you begin to feel the results. Then you begin to see the results. And I think that's important. Now, what are these results? Like, how will you know what the results are? I think the big thing is that there can be a lightness that comes from it, okay? And what I mean by this is very often, remember I mentioned that the kind of the weight distribution can change. So your horse can go from being very heavy on the forehand or maybe becoming heavy on the forehand, and because you've asked for a well-timed half halt in just the amount of kind of ask when you asked it, your horse can lighten the forehand again, okay? So that's a kind of a big thing, is this lightness. But also it's this rebalancing. So very often if you're with a young horse or a green horse and you can feel like, whoa, we hit a speed wobble there, half halt or a couple of them will be what you need to get things back on track, to get the rhythm back, to get the relaxation back, to just rebalance the whole situation. It could be that after a jump, things feel like it's running on a little bit. Half halt. It could be coming to a jump. You feel like, whoa, we're a little bit too enthusiastic for this. Half halt. There we go. You're rebalancing. Or coming to the jump, you're like, oh, jeepers tonight. I don't think we have enough energy here. Half halt, okay? The half halt, it's really this channeling and gathering of the energy so that you can direct it a little bit more, okay? It's like this, we can now step forward into the next stride with more balance and more clarity about what we're doing. That's really how you want to think of it. But yeah, when you look at a horse and a rider who are effectively using the half halt, it looks balanced. Now, can you see the half halt? No, probably not. And if they're good, if they're refining it, no, you won't, okay? Because they're using the half halt in such a way that as soon as the horse, I want to say misses a beat, okay? But that kind of takes us to this, like the horse totally, the rhythm's gone for a ball altogether. That's not what I mean. But as soon as things get to the point or it becomes like, and I would say this is a feeling, which is why I said I want you to go practice this, okay? But you can feel when the speed wobble is about to happen, when you get to that level, okay? And we're going to imagine that the rider and horse, the combination we're watching, are at that level. As soon as they can feel like, whoa, this could be, there's the potential here for things to get a bit wobbly, they half halt. So things never get wobbly, yeah? Okay, so that's where you want to take it to. But yeah, what you'll be able to see is, for the most part, kind of a rebalancing, usually a lightness in front, okay, as the weight kind of shifts and redistributes a little bit, okay, and then this kind of flow of energy forward, because remember, the relaxation is there, so it's like this flowing on of the energy, which is really, really important. I would say, like, if you see somebody half halting and the horse maybe becoming very hollow, or maybe the horse completely slowing down, that's not half halt. That's something else. Now, why would those things happen? Well, one of the first things is that the rider is just too handy. They're too much with their hands. And because they're not using the balance of aids, they're not using their other aids, when you use too much of anything, it's not going to pan out well, okay? You have to, everything in moderation. So you want to just make sure that there's not too much hand. Another thing I see happening a lot is that the riders just don't use the leg. You'll see riders and their lower leg will actually shoot forward, like their lower leg's up somewhere by the shoulders or the elbows of their horse, obviously. And you're like, no. Let us now. The click the fingers rule always applies, okay? So make sure that if the horse vanished, you would land on your own 2 feet. You want your leg under you and you want to make sure that your leg is engaged, okay? Sometimes riders hold the half halt for too long. No, it's like a split second. I often like to think of it as being a footfall. So in the canter, there are 3 beats. 3 footfalls, yeah? In the trot, there's 2. In the walk, there's 4. You're only going to hold it for a footfall, not a stride, a footfall, okay? A beat, and then release it. And that's really important. If you're holding on too long, it's going to flatten things. It's going to deaden things. So you want to make sure that it's just really, really quick. And then also sometimes the horse just simply doesn't understand. And that's where you have to go back to training, sometimes retraining, but you have to spend time, be patient, be consistent, kind of have a plan every time you're working with your horse, and you'll get to that as well. Now, why am I telling you all of these things? I really do think that when you're working with the half halt, and once you can work with the half halt, it's something that you all the time are going to use. Like there's nothing you will do, whether you're on the ground, whether you're on the lunge, whether you're in the saddle, there's nothing you're going to do that the half halt is not going to come into it. So I really do feel it's important, and I would say it's essential actually, to dedicate some time to learning to half halt. And remember, the half halt's always going to change, because the half halt is really a conversation. It's a conversation between you and the horse, which means that depending on the day, the conversation might change slightly, depending on the mood, depending on what you're doing, depending on the horse, depending on where you're working together. All of the things, okay? So you don't want to kind of get yourself fixed into this mindset that it has to be this thing because this worked for me that day. No, you have to be flexible with the half halt. There's a suppleness in the half halt, okay? You have to be supple in your approach to it, but yet consistent as well. And I know that seems like a bit of a, okay, Lorna, you're totally contradicting yourself, but I'm not. If you understand the half halt, you'll know that you can't just keep saying 2 + 2 = 4 and that's it. And you're like, well, now what's wrong with that? But remember, it's not always 2 + 2. It can be 2 + 3. And if it's 2 + 3 on that day and you're still expecting 4, well, you're wrong. Okay. So you have to understand that whatever the input is, whatever you and your horse are at, and it could be a different horse, whatever that is at that day, you have to refine and tweak and kind of explore and experiment with what's going to work for that day as well. But for the most part, the formula will apply and the formula will work. So what I'm going to suggest you do now, the next day you ride, is to, when you're in the saddle, I want you to first of all think about yourself. So again, the half halt being this holistic kind of inclusion of all the aids. I want you to think about it first. Use the thoughts in your head, okay? And I want you to think about carrying yourself. Remember, we always want to model what we expect the horse to do. So if you want the horse to carry themselves a little bit more, to lighten a little bit more, well, you need to do the same thing, hey? Okay, so you're going to carry yourself, and I want to say sit up tall, but sometimes I say that and then I have people and they're like surfboards on the backs of the horses, okay? So there has to be, again, suppleness is key, folks. Suppleness is key. So you want to sit up, carry yourself nicely, and then from there you're just going to, through your seat, connect through the seat and really feel the horse under you. And then there can be this little bit of a whoa, it's like a resistance a little bit through your core, through your seat of the horse. Now, as you do that, your legs will come in just a little bit close around to keep the horse moving forward, okay? It's almost like a little gentle hug, okay? And then as that happens, it's just a little squeeze of the hand. So it's just your fingers squeezing around the reins, okay? So it's like a little whoa, and then release. And it has to, it's like half halt, release. Yeah, it's just quick. I can't explain to you how quick. It's like one footfall, but you're going to do all those 3 things. So what I would suggest, if you're like, oh, holy moly, that sounds fierce complicated, I want you to practice the things first, put them all together, and then practice what happens with that. And what I would do is I'd practice maybe every 6 or 8 strides initially, just so as you can kind of get your wits about you and that you know you're releasing, and then feeling the difference between the half halt, the resistance or the gathering, and then the release, because you're only going to gather for that split second of a stride and then you release it again. Okay. And I can't say for you, like, it's like that's how fast it is. Yeah. Okay. So I can't say that to you. You have to feel it. You have to feel the footfall and know that it's a gather and a release, and a gather and a release, and a gather and a release. Okay. But it's quicker than what I'm saying it. And I want you to practice that. And what I would suggest again is doing it for one stride, and then go on 6, maybe 8 strides, have a number in your head. And then again, mentally prepare, get it all right in your head, and then half halt again. And keep practicing this with your horse. Now, this is not an overnight skill. It's not something that, I'm able to do that now, there we go, and I don't have to ever come back to it. You have to do the work here. You have to be there to be consistent, to keep working on it with your horse. It's all about not just what you're doing, it's about how you're responding to your horse's response. It's about the timing of it, the awareness of the feel underneath you. You can't learn feel. You have to get into the saddle and work on feel. So that's why I'm encouraging you. I'm giving you the theory here, but I need you to go work on it now to really get in and to do this. And if you would like more help with that, we are deep diving into the half halt for the coming 3 months inside of Connection. So the past month, all of October, we've been working on it on the lunge, but now we are going into it in the saddle as we go into November. Can you believe we're going into November? This is crazy. But into November, we're going to be working on the half halt in the saddle. If it's something you're keen to do, come on. You don't have to have any other experience. You're just going to come in and we're going to get together once a week live, and you're going to get audio horse riding lessons to listen to when you're with your horse. And there's all the extra training as well. And we're going to make the half halt something that, first of all, you understand completely, and secondly, is going to transform your relationship with your horse. I do think it is that powerful. It's something that once you understand it in principle, you will become a little bit obsessed, if you want, with regards to how to ride it, and also then how to refine it. And I think it's so important. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can fly over to stridesforsuccess.com/join. All of the details are there. And in the meantime, do what I've just said, listen to this episode, and then go out and give it a go. See what you and your horse can do together, okay, in that time, and see how it goes. And again, if you want some extra help, come and join us inside of Connection. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a fantastic week. Keep well, and I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.